Infernal Blessings. Make sure this thing is recording. Yes, it is. All right, Infernal Blessings. Back with another video. Real quick before I begin the video, just run through some quick announcements as I usually do. Again, if you're interested in registering and signing up for the different classes that I offer there's various ongoing series. Go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. That's patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3 is the tier you want to join. Tier 3 gives you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon, and it also gives you access to the group ritual we do at the end of the month. Okay, that's patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. There's a bunch of ongoing series of classes, such classes that I'm doing on there right now. Ancient Egyptian Vampiric class, Luciferian Magic and Self-Mastery class, Telepathic Sorcery, Kundalini Meditation and Awakening class, Shadow Work class, which we're 18 knee deep and counting, Esoterical Occult Bible Study class, Eastern Left-Hand Path Occult class, where we cover all Eastern Left-Hand Path philosophy, working with Ahriman, the Jinn, Shaitan. There's a bunch of ongoing series and new content constantly being added. So if you are interested in getting in on the classes that I do, that's the way you need to do it. Go to the Patreon page, the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Also, the 6th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference is in full effect. You can sign up and register for that right now. It's a 4-day event from October 19th to the 22nd. Meet and greet on Thursday the 19th. On the 20th and the 21st, we have classes, workshops, speakers, and presenters. That'll take place from 9 to 4 p.m. on that Friday and Saturday. Then we come back in the evening to do a group ritual together on both nights, followed by a group dinner and kind of some hanging out, just chilling and having some fun and all that good stuff. Sunday, the event closes out from noon to 4 p.m. I'll be doing a Q&A, a question and answer session. Just an open discussion on the occult, the left-hand path, anything you might want to ask, anything that took place during the conference, etc. You can also attend virtually. That gives you access to the 3 days of classes, workshops, speakers, and presenters on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're interested in attending, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com, and I will send you the information on how to register and sign up for the conference. Also, if you are interested in a spiritual reading or a spiritual consultation, I offer various different readings, telepathic demonic readings, Santa Muerte readings, Egyptian oracle readings, shadow work readings, which I've said a million times before. It's always a great place to start or to just see what you got going on around you right now. Constant work, always, with working with the hidden or the shadow self deity readings to see what spirits, gods, goddesses, and demons walk with you. For any further information on how to book a reading or a consultation, again, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com. And also keep in mind, all this content is being uploaded to the Primordial Chaos podcast, which can be found on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. The direct link to the podcast, along with my contact email address and the link for the Patreon page to sign up for classes, is in the description box of this video that you are currently watching right now, just in case you forget. All right, so what I want to kind of talk about today on this first video, try to get a couple videos shot today if I can. Spiritual warfare, okay, which is very mental in nature, so really spiritual and mental warfare. It's the days and the times that we're living in, right? We see that the world around us and within us, right, is changing constantly. What happens if you're not moving with this change, for lack of a better word, you tend to get swallowed up. You tend to get devoured. You tend not to be able to deal with issues, blockages, struggles that come up. How do you, the question with this, because I see a lot of people on this path, emails I get, talking to people, how do you kind of keep moving, stay abreast of what's going on in the world, but not get too caught up in it, and stay focused on what you got to do? That's the spiritual warfare, okay? That's the initiative of when I say they, or what they're doing out here. What they're doing out here, whether it's through the media, especially through the news, is they're constantly trying to promote fear. People tend to start stressing and worrying about things. When I say that they don't have no control, they don't have no control in the sense, the energy they give worrying about shit, whether it's something that goes down on the news, something that's happening in the world, when you feed in it through the energy of fear, that's how you get swallowed and devoured by it. So the solution or the approach should be, when these things are happening, because I get emails all the time when something goes down there. Oh, did you see this in the news? Did you see that in the news? I'm not saying all, but that sometimes comes off to me as somebody who may live in fear, somebody who may live dealing with insecurities in regards to that. I don't get sucked into that stuff. As I said, you stay. As I say, you stay aware to the best of your ability, right? But you don't stay so mentally involved in it that you become consumed, that you become fearful of it. Let me give you an example. Let's go back, and again, I don't like to talk about it for too long, but let's go back to COVID for an example, okay? How equipped is your mind? And this is the day and time that we live in, and there's probably other stuff coming down the pike. As I've said before to people with COVID, it's here to stay. It's a permanent viral strand like the flu. It's not going anywhere. When you look at, for an example, when the flu, if you did your research, when the flu, especially when you go back to the Spanish flu, that was the COVID at that time, and that lasted for several years before they even got it under control, to the point the flu still exists. It's never going anywhere. That's the part of evolution. That's the part of creation and nature. Viral strands will continue to develop over time. One, due to the fact of the days and times we're living in, what we're doing to the planet, this, that, and the other. All that are factors that tie in. But I used the COVID because that was the last great, or the most recent, panic thing that people wake the fuck out on. Okay? And look what they were doing at that time. There was COVID just a few years ago. When COVID was running rampant, that first wave, there was a lot of racial tensions. There was a lot of the George Floyd thing was going on. There was all this shit going on with Trump. It's almost like there was a constructed attack to see how people would react. Okay? And it was almost like I looked at it as a behavior monitoring tool. How will people respond to adversity? And this is why I've said many times before, and in one of the recent videos I just did, about being a proactive or a reactive person. A reactive person is somebody, again, that's just going to react off of pure emotion. Us, we had to sit back and look at this as a whole and see how this thing is playing out. And then you start to see the bigger picture. So you don't get emotionally involved to the point where it can kind of poison your mind and your way of thinking, right? If you again reflect back on all the crazy shit that was going on, and it was just a bunch of shit going on in 2020, just to refer you to that time, People were going batshit crazy. So I said, that was the fire drill. That was the test run. Your solution to keeping you out of that spectrum of being in fear and being controlled. Remember, as a practicing occultist, magician, adept, whatever you want to refer to it as, okay? You must first and foremost be in control of yourself and your immediate surroundings and environment. I can't stress that enough, because when you are, I can only put this in words, until you experience it, it's just going to be words. It's almost like you create your own universe within another universe. Though there's stuff going on in this outside world, for whatever reason, okay, it'll be more clear to you when you experience it, they just doesn't seem to penetrate or affect what you're doing. Doesn't mean you're not aware, and it doesn't mean what's going on out there you shouldn't pay attention to, right? But it doesn't affect you like that. As I said before, again, I'll use the example of COVID. To some people, that was a dreadful time because they didn't know what to do with themselves, right? Now, look, I'm not saying I want any type of, or hoping upon any other period of time to happen like that, but there's a lot of us who were well equipped during that time. It made me see a lot of things. It made me see to become even more self-independent than I am. It gave me a lot of time in my spiritual work and my spiritual studies. It didn't, because of what I do and how I do it, it didn't affect my money. I looked at it as a period of stasis where one has to go into that darkness or stasis or stagnation to pause, to stop, to take a deep look at themselves. And it was a deep time of internal growth where other people who are not mentally equipped for spiritual and mental warfare, okay, they was getting frustrated because they watched everything on Netflix. They didn't know what to do with themselves, because these are your people who thrive on the weekend coming, just going out somewhere, hanging out, getting drunk, hanging out at a club, smoking weed, and it's what they live for, because they have no purpose or motivation to do anything in life but just those things that keep them distracted. Now, I'm not saying, I just want to make this clear, because I'm not trying to come off as no goody two-shoes. It's not about if you smoke weed or not, or you can't go out and have fun and party. But what I am trying to say is, when that is just your focal point, that's all you do. There are literally some people who just work during the week, party for the weekend, and start the cycle all over again on Monday. And let me show you how they have that vibrational frequency or energy. You're locked in and connected to it, whether you're aware or not, okay? And let me explain, okay? Every day of the week has a vibe to it, right? When Sunday comes, it's the end of the weekend, you're winding down, it's got a certain vibe or energy to it. You're getting ready to start the beginning of a new work week, or if you run your own business, Monday's got its own vibe. It's the beginning of the week. It's just work, business. You're in a certain mind frame, okay? And then they're programming you constantly. What I mean by that is, now with these phones and technology, you got apps on your phone, you're constantly getting news, you're constantly getting updates on the top of your phone. More than likely, you got a TV, a radio, or some form of media on all the time, whether it's music or news, in your house, in your car. So you're being programmed that way if you're not knowing how to assimilate what you're listening to and hearing. So Monday and Tuesday have similar vibes. Beginning of the week, a lot of work and business to get done. Then they slick. They call Wednesday hump day, right? That's the middle of the week. You're almost there. Almost to the weekend, so you can party and piss your money away. Wednesday comes, it's hump day. The weekend's right around the corner. Thursday's got that vibe. Oh, yeah, all right. Last really day of the week. Tomorrow's Friday. After that, Friday comes. Now the vibe and the energy changes. Now you start hearing advertisements, whether it's on the radio, shit starts, they got this thing going on over here, this going on over here, this club got this going on tonight, this, that, the other. And now your vibe and your energy and your frequency is now changing. You're getting ready to either go to the club, hang out somewhere at a strip club, get you some weed, drink, whatever. Your vibrational frequency and energy is automatically locked into that. Friday and Saturday, same type of vibe. Saturday might be more of a daytime vibe, going into the nighttime, and then here comes Sunday again. And some of you sick bastards do all your fuckery all during the week, and you think by going to church on Sunday asking for forgiveness that gives you a clean slate, and then you start the shit all over again come Monday morning. Okay? What I'm trying to tell you, it's important for you to understand energy and frequency in order to fight the spiritual and mental warfare. To establish your own algorithm. Don't let them program into you how you're supposed to feel, because they put all that energy out there through the course of a week, right? And regardless of what you do, if you work a job, you have your business, you're a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is you do, you would have to agree with what I just said to a degree. You tap into that energy or frequency like that. It feels like that, okay? It's how they prep and prepare you. So you're going to react how you feel. It's the same thing when something goes down in the news or some cataclysmic event takes place or some natural disaster or there's a war going on or a mass shooting or something racial. Now they have the ability in real time. I keep trying to tell people, don't be under the illusion that a lot of the shit you're seeing is happening that's new. Is new. It's not. It's just, for an example, police brutality, racism, all this stuff, which I'm sure everybody knows has been going on. It's just back then there wasn't cell phones and cameras everywhere to capture this and upload it in real time. Okay? Now they have a way to get this stuff to you in the snap of a finger, which is a good and a bad thing. As I've said many times before, that's a good thing and it's a very bad thing because it can be used as a weapon against you. So you're going to react, okay? It's important, people, to process what you're experiencing and seeing. You must process it, okay? Because 9 out of 10 times, when you're hearing or seeing something, especially on the news, it ain't always what it seems to be. I can tell you that for a fact, okay? But you must be locked into your own personal frequency and energy. And you will be if you're doing the work, if you've established those consistent practices. You're doing your ritual work. You're changing your vibrational energy based on what you're absorbing and taking in. The information you're reading. That's important. What ideologies that you have embraced, that you accept as your personal truths. That's going to affect how you perceive things, how you feel, how you look at the world, what's going on in the world and what's going on around you. Okay? This is all super important in the aspect it's going to be your protection in this spiritual and mental warfare. Okay? Nothing is going to change. As we hear this old saying, we've all heard it a million times over here. Nothing's going to change if you don't change yourself. See, the problem is, I've said this for years, people scream they want change, but they don't want to do any work or they don't want to sacrifice anything to get to that change. This ain't the path for you, because this is a path of constant change and transformation, right? You can never get complacent and comfortable on this path. As soon as you do, it's going to fuck you up. And it's not a bad uncomfortable. I'm saying not to be comfortable or uncomfortable. It's not that it's a bad thing. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you aware. It keeps you alert. It's a good not being comfortable. Okay? It's the best way I could describe it or put it into words. Okay? That's what this path is about. It's about embracing that change, not being surprised by it, not being shocked and stunned, not being, oh, what's going on? No. Sometimes, unfortunately, I see shit going on in the world and around me or on the news, and I just shake my head because it's like, it's not really a surprise. You know what I'm saying? But when you see something or hear something, whether it's somebody tells you, you see it on the news, you hear it on the radio, whatever, and you just get emotional and react in an unproductive way, that's how you know their spiritual and mental warfare is working on you. Okay? You must start to, first of all, you're no good to anybody or anything around you if you're not right yourself. All right? I just want to stress that. This is not about a save the world mission, because that's a false concept that's presented in a lot of spiritual systems. Like, we need to help and save the whole entire world. I got news for you. Wake up call. That's not what it's about, nor will that ever happen. People get sucked into that false illusion and get swallowed up. The reality is, it starts with getting yourself right. Once you get yourself right, and then you start to master everything else in your surroundings, you'll be connected to those who you need to help. You'll be linked in and aligned with what your purpose is and what you need to do. See, I used to be, back in the day, years back, on them do-gooder paths, as I like to say. I, as a young individual, believed that shit. It's about, oh, we all got to unite. We all got to come together. Kumbaya, and all that bullshit. And I started to realize, no, that's not really what this is about. Because the fact of the matter is, you got different mindsets of people out here. All you have to find is a way to coexist within that reality. It's not about trying to convert everybody over to the way you see things, your thoughts, your spiritual path. See, that's what a lot of those systems do. They believe they can get everybody to see things the way they do, and if we all see it the same way, we'll all be unified. Listen, they've been talking that unified shit across the globe for a long time. I'll just leave it at that, a very long time. It just is never going to happen on that level that they try to propagate it as. Unfortunately, you live in a world where there will always be opposition. There will always be war. There will always be bloodshed. There will always be sickness and disease. And I'm not saying that to make it sound negative or hopeless. I'm saying it so you can understand and get or acknowledge in your mind that this is the existence that you live in. And it doesn't mean because that stuff exists that you still can't live a powerful and productive life. Okay? But to sit there and act like we're going to eliminate and eradicate all these things we label as bad, and there's going to come a day where we're all holding hands walking into the sun. It's just not a reality, people. They know this. They promote it on one end, and then they got another agenda coming at you on the other end. That's what creates the fear. That's what creates the insecurity. That's what creates the emotional way people react. All right? I think I'm going to do a part 2 on this because I had some more I wanted to get into, but I'm at my destination. I need to get in here to my 9 rounds, knock that out. So I'm going to leave this video, this segment, right where it is. Again, if you need to reach out to me, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com. If you want information on how to sign up for the 6th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference, or if you want to book a spiritual reading or spiritual consultation, that's where you hit me up on the email. Also, the direct link to the Primordial Chaos podcast, along with the direct link for the Patreon page to sign up for the classes I offer, and my contact email address. All of that is in the description box of this video. All right? Infernal blessings, and we'll see you on the next video.